Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and this video is on quadratic simultaneous equations. Here we have our first problem, and it says solve y equals x squared, y minus 9x is equal to 14. And when we're solving simultaneous equations, we're looking for two values for y and two values for x. And once we have both of those sets, we know that we've solved it. So if we look at our equations, we have y equals in this first one here and a y in the bottom one. So what we're going to do simply is just substitute the x squared into where the y is. Because they're both y, we know it's going to be equal. So if we substitute x squared into where y is, it's going to give us x squared minus 9x is equal to minus 14. Now the next step is to get it equal to 0. So all we're going to do that is plus 14. So if we plus 14, we're going to end up with x squared minus 9x plus 14 is equal to 0. Now the next step is to factorise, and I have actually done a separate video on factorising, so make sure you go and check that one out first and before you come back and watch the rest of this one, because it will make it a lot easier. So we know we're going to have two sets of brackets, and because there's only one x squared, it's just going to be 1x in the first bit of both of the brackets. And then as the numbers, we're going to have minus 2 and minus 7. And as I said, if that's a bit confusing, go and check out the factorising video and then come back to this one because it will make a lot more sense. So this means that x is going to be equal to 2, because you always change the signs when you write x is equal to. So if x minus 2, this is all equal to 0, then x is going to equal positive 2 or positive 7. So now our next step is just to substitute these ones back into our equation. So if we take this top equation, y equals x squared, because that's the simpler of the two, and do our first one, so 2, y is equal to x squared, and if x is equal to 2, that's going to be 2 squared, which is equal to 4. So we write it as a set of coordinates, x is 2, and y is 4, and then if we try and find our other set, when x is 7, well, we're just going to substitute that back into our equation. So we're going to do y equals x squared. And then if x is 7, we're going to do y is equal to 7 squared. So y is equal to 49. So when x equals 7, y is equal to 49. So just pop that into the brackets. And then that's how we write solved simultaneous equations. Okay, so here we have our second problem. And it says solve x equals y squared minus 4, y minus x is equal to 2. Now this isn't much harder than our first equation, there's just a few more steps. So what we're going to want to do is get one of these two equations equal to a letter. Now this bottom one's going to be easier to get equal to a letter, because if you see in this top one here we have a squared, which just makes it a bit more confusing. So we take this bottom one, we've got y minus x is equal to 2. Now if we try and get it equal to y so that we keep positives, that's if we just add x, we're going to get y on its own. So we're going to get y is equal to 2, add x. Now just like in the one before, what we're going to do with this one is just substitute it up into this equation here, because we've got a y is equal to, and we've got a y in this top equation. So that's going to give us x is equal to 2 add x squared minus 4. Now if we expand out our brackets, 2 add x squared, so that's just 2 add x times by 2 add x. And if we expand it, I've also done a video on expanding brackets, so go and check that one out if you're a bit confused on how to do it, and then come back and join us in this video. So if we expand that, we're going to be left with 4 add 2x, add 2x, add x squared, which we can simplify down to 4 add 4x, add x squared. So if we put that back into the rest of our equation, we're going to have x is equal to 4 add 4x, add x squared minus 4. Okay, so we can simplify that down to x is equal to 4x add x squared. Now again, just like in the first one, we're going to try and get it equal to 0. So the easiest thing to do here is just take away x. So we get a 0 on here, on this side here. So we're going to be left with 0 is equal to 4x add x squared minus x, which again we can simplify down to 0 equals 3x add x squared. And now to factorise this, the only common thing we have is x, so we're going to take that outside the brackets, and then inside the brackets, because there's just going to be 1 this time, we're going to be left with 3 plus x. So that means x is equal to minus 3, just like I said before, we're going to flip the sign. So x is equal to minus 3 or 0. Because if x is on the outside of the bracket with nothing else, that means it's equal to 0. So again, just like before, we're going to resubstitute these back into our equations. So if we take this equation here that we've already made equal to y, we've got y is equal to 2 plus x. So our two sets of brackets are going to be when x is minus 3 or when x is 0. So if we start with when x is minus 3, we're going to have y equals 2 minus 3, which is going to give us y equals minus 1. So that's going to be our y value for that. And then what we're going to do for the second one is just substitute in 0. So when y equals 2 plus 0, y is just equal to 2. So that's our second value. So those are our two sets of values for these equations. Okay, so here we have our third problem. And it says x squared is equal to y minus 4. And 2y add 12x is equal to minus 8. So up here you see we've got x squared is equal to y minus 4. So if we choose that one to try and make it equal to a letter, we can do it quite simply. So we've got x squared is equal to y minus 4. And just to get it equal to y, all we need to do is add 4. So if we add 4 to both sides, we're going to be left with x squared add 4 is equal to y. Now, just like in the previous ones, we're just going to substitute that back into our equation. So we've got y here and we've got y up here. So that's going to be 2x squared plus 4 add 12x is equal to minus 8. So if we expand out this bracket, we're going to be left with 2x squared plus 8 add 12x is equal to minus 8. Now we want to get it equal to 0 just like before, so we're just going to add 8 to both sides. So that's going to leave us with 2x squared add 16 add 12x is equal to 0. Now if we factorise it like we have done previously, we're going to have 2x in one bracket and x in the other. And we're going to have plus 4 and plus 4. So that means x is equal to minus 4 or minus 2. Because up here we're saying 2x add 4 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to minus 4, which means x is equal to minus 2, which is where we get our minus 2 from. Now if we just substitute that back into our equation here that we've got where y equals x squared add 4. So y is equal to minus 4 squared plus 4. And remember, it's really important when you're squaring negative numbers to put it in a bracket. Otherwise you'll come up with a syntax error on your calculator. So this is going to give us y is equal to 16 plus 4. So y is equal to 20. So that can be one of our brackets. When x is equal to minus 4, y is 20. And then our other one, when x is equal to minus 2, well, all we need to do is substitute that back into our equation. So y is equal to minus 2 squared plus 4. So y is equal to 4 plus 4, meaning y is equal to 8. So when x is minus 2, y is equal to 8. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below any video ideas you guys have which I could make to help you out. Also be sure to check out my social medias, which are all in the description box below.